This might be the most impressive single physical feat of the game. This is a no-look pass by Cam Ward.
Look at this. This football, I mean, that is just, what? What? The fact that he has released that football accurately into the waiting hands, the waiting God-given hands of Xavier Restrepo. I mean, what are we looking at?
He had multiple plays in this game that are just ridiculous. And this is what I mean by elevating the offense, because the defense won this rep. Everyone is covered. But because he's able to extend the play and because he's able to get this pass off despite being in the grasp of a defender, it elevates. Welcome everyone to another episode of the Music City Audible podcast presented by Sinkers Beverages, the premier wine, spirits, and beer store in East Nashville in partnership with 440 Sports. I'm Justin Graver. With me, as always, Justin Melo. And Justin, as our audience could probably tell from the intro there, this is a little bit different style episode of the Music City Audible. We haven't done too many of these outside of draft season where you and I get on together to watch film and break it down as a duo instead of just one of us doing it. I'm really excited to get into this tape. How is it going?
Yeah, I'm doing well, and I think this was a no-brainer. You know, it's a bit of a switch-up, but when your rookie quarterback, your franchise quarterback, plays as good of a game as Cam Ward did on Sunday, the best game of his rookie season, it would be silly of us to not get on here and break down the tape. And we want to get it out as early in the week as possible, not only because it just happened, but, got Thanksgiving at the end of this week. So it made sense, I think, to make this Monday episode. It's still a full-blown episode. It's probably really long, as I say this, a Cam Ward film breakdown episode. Really encouraged and excited about what we saw on Sunday. So I had gone through the tape initially to let you guys into our process and kind of came up with a handful of plays that I thought, or actually I think I did at least two handfuls of plays that I thought would be worth breaking down. I sent them to you. You kind of looked over, agreed, disagreed, and then you went out and pulled the ones that we fully agreed on, and we came up with a final list of Cam Ward plays that we had to break down. So here we are. It's a Cam Ward breakdown episode.
Yeah, and I think the thesis of this breakdown is that the Titans have found their guy. Like, this is what, I don't want to say what we've been waiting for, but you look at the advanced metrics throughout the season, the EPA numbers, completion percentage over expected, all those like advanced passing stats, and Cam Ward frankly hasn't been good in those stats. And we can say, oh, watch the tape tells the story, and that might be true. But when the advanced numbers come out for this game, and Cam Ward for the first time this season has a positive EPA overall, a positive completion over expected rate, finally it's coming together. The actual play that he's put on tape and then the results and the impact in the stat sheet actually comes through. This is the full, complete game we've been waiting to see from Cam Ward. So I'm really excited to dig into this because I think this demonstrates that the Titans have their guy. This is what their guy would be doing if he was their guy, and he did it. So he is the guy.
Well, I think the difference is, and I'm glad you said that, is we were sort of operating in the gray area where we felt strongly, and I regret nothing, that he was, playing better than the box score indicated and the numbers and the stats. But when the results don't line up with that opinion, there's always going to be a middle gray area where you're going to have people that don't agree with us and don't see it. And we were getting, people were calling us out in comments, you guys are too nice to him, blah, blah, blah. That performance on Sunday was so darn good that there is no gray area. Not even the biggest of Cam Ward deniers or haters or whatever you want to call them can say that he did not play well on Sunday. We are all in harmony, sitting around a circle, singing Kumbaya about how great Cam, a ton of the comments on the Sunday live stream that we did yesterday. This was the best game of the season. I'm seeing the same sentiment from everyone. This is the most fun I've had in 2 years. And all honesty, thinking back to the beginning of the year, Graver, let's be honest. I think this is kind of what we were hoping for. Our expectation for this team was it might not be very good, but the offense is going to be fun and Cam Ward is going to be good. And when when they're losing, they're putting up 10 points, 11 points every single week. It was like, wow, not only are they losing, this is not what we had in mind. I do think Sunday's loss is more in line with what we were hoping for, right? if the worst comes to worst, they're not a good team. At least the quarterback looks really good, and there's no doubt in my mind that he's the future way forward. That's exactly what we saw on Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. And you look at stuff like PFF grades, and the highest graded player on offense for the Titans in this game was Cam Ward. And funnily enough, the second highest player, according to PFF, this is not a joke, was Xavier Restrepo. And you just look across the league, and Cam Ward is like top 10 in EPA amongst all quarterbacks and top 5 in PFF grade amongst all quarterbacks. Like, legitimately compared to the rest of the league, he was a great quarterback on Sunday. He had one of the best performances that any QB's had against this specific team, Seattle, on Sunday. So with that in mind, let's get into it. And we're going to start by looking at the passing chart, because I think this tells a bit of the story as well. It's all over the map, which is what you want to see. You want to see the dots everywhere. You don't want to see them grouped up in one area or any areas that are not being targeted on the field. There's still a lot of stuff short and behind the line of scrimmage. He did have a very low average depth of target. It was under 5, between 4 and 5 yards, if I remember correctly. But that's partly because of the defense you're facing. And he's done a lot better job the last 2 weeks, especially, of getting the ball out quickly, knowing you're going up against a great defense with a good pass rush and a good front 7 and a good front 4 that's going to get to you. So this is just an example. This is just a illustration, I guess, a good way to start the conversation before we look at the specific plays, to say he's targeting every area of the field. His completion percentage was good. There's not a lot of deep shots. There weren't really opportunities, I don't think, to take deep shots against this defense, but he didn't need to. Still created explosive plays and overall just commanded the offense. He looked so much more comfortable and in control of what he was doing on the field. The eye manipulation stuff that we're going to get into in the tape here just shows the level of comfort that he's grown to have now. It looked more like the guy we saw on tape at Miami, who was always comfortable and in control in this game from beginning to end. And I think that's the best you can say for what he was able to do in this game.
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head, but what I like about this passing chart, as you said, the dots are all over the field. You look up across the middle there in those intermediate portions, there are like 5 great completions to the middle intermediate there. You look down the right sideline, there's a great completion there. I think that was probably the one to Chig, I think, in the third quarter. That's in our reel. And I look at and you know what? You look at the left side of the chart where there are only 2 incompletions that are in the intermediate to deep, if you will. And correct me if I'm wrong, those were 2 catchable balls. That's going to be the 3rd and 1 to Gunnar Helm that hit him in the hands. And the other one is going to be the first quarter one to DK that hit him in the hands as well. I remember all these dots. Look at me go. Like every area is impressive. And the one that, if you wanted to argue, it's 2 catchable balls that the receivers could have made plays on. So you love this. This is a guy who's in control, who's playing with confidence. He's spraying the ball all over the field, short, intermediate, left side, up the middle, right side, like just a guy that's seeing the field incredibly well.
Exactly. So let's get to the tape, Justin. Our first play we're going to look at here, this was in the first quarter. It's maybe the most impressive, like physically impressive. Obviously, the throw to Restrepo was the most bonkers throw, but I really like this play. This is the one where he's falling down to Chigakonkwo here as I roll the tape. And what's so interesting about this play is that you could knock Cam Ward, I think, a little bit for how long he holds on to the ball. And we talked about this yesterday on the live stream when we were talking about this play, is that like you'd like to see him get rid of the ball before he's in a situation where he's being taken to the ground as he throws it. But if we let this tape play out, I'll show you, there's nowhere to go with the ball. Right off the bat, plastered here. Can you see my mouse, Justin?
I can, yeah, audience? Covered up.
Yeah, perfect. I don't have to draw, but you have my mouse. Plastered here. This guy's double bracketed and plastered up here. And the more I let this play run out, Cam's doing a good job in the pocket. He's about to slide up away from that pressure. Still plastered, double covered, plastered. There's nowhere to go with the ball. So this is one of those things that people want to get on Cam about his time to throw being he holds the ball too long or whatever. And I've said on this show, because Cam Ward's talked about his propensity to hold on to the ball, which is that when he knows he is protected, as he is here, and there's nowhere to go with the football yet, he's going to maximize that protection, allow somebody to try to break open versus just throwing the ball away? Okay, if he's going to throw the ball away, by the time the pressure does get to him, he can just throw the ball away. So why do it earlier than you have to? And he has a good sense of awareness of when he needs to get that ball out. And so on this play, it's a good example of it. So you don't knock him for holding onto the ball, because where's he going to go with it? I mean, he could force it to somebody. He could maybe throw it up this towards the sideline here and throw a guy open, but you're taking a risk on a contested ball that there's no need to, because again, he doesn't have to get rid of it yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. The benefit of watching the all 22, because I said it yesterday on the live stream, this is an incredibly clean pocket. I mean, we've got on the offensive line a lot this year. I mean, rightfully so, but this is a phenomenal job they do here with this pocket. And they brought DK, by the way. It looked like there was a pre-snap motion, right? They brought DK across the formation. They're able to confirm. They're confirming the coverage, essentially, right? They get a good look here. They know what they're seeing here in coverage. I'm sorry?
That's Gunner, actually, but that's Gunner.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you've got the clip in front of you better than I. So they bring Gunner Hellman pre-snap motion, but the point is they're confirming the coverage here. But again, the benefit of all 22, I mean, this is a much more talented defensive backfield than what the Titans have at their disposal from a pass-catching perspective. And this is one of those plays where initially that was glaringly obvious. I mean, there's just no separation here. There's nowhere to go with the football. But again, those guys up front do their job at an incredibly high level on this play. They give Cam the time necessary. Now, as you can keep it rolling, he's eventually going to roll to his right here, right? If I recall this play correctly, he's going to roll to his right here. And once he's in the grasp of this defender, or nearly in the grasp, I'm convinced that this is a sack. And a lot of credit to Chig for working across the field, coming back, working back to his quarterback, to the side of the field that his quarterback is obviously looking at based on it being in where he's in the grasp of the defender.
Yeah.
So really impressive for Chig, not giving up on this play, working the right way, making himself available. The fact that Cam releases this ball while in the grasp of that defender is truly, truly unbelievable. And it's a first down. This is a second and long passing situation. Again, initially he's got nowhere to go. He makes magic happen, and they're able to move the chains.
I just wanted to point out one last thing before we go to the end zone cam, which is that at this point in the route, Pollard does actually break open across the middle of the field. But Cam, he's not in that part of the progression. He's to the backside now. And by the time his eyes do come back to Pollard here, he has to move because he's getting pressure finally. The pocket that held up for so long finally does. I mean, it's still holding up. It's just he has to maneuver it to create the space between him and the defender. So he's not able to get that ball to Pollard.
He's extending the pocket.
Exactly. So he can't get that ball to Pollard. Let's go to the end zone cam where you can really see just how ridiculous this play is. He had multiple plays in this game that are just ridiculous. And this is what I mean by elevating the offense, because the defense won this rep. Everyone is covered. But because he's able to extend the play and because he's able to get this pass off despite being in the grasp of a defender, it elevates. It turns a 2nd and 9 that could have been a 3rd and 9 or worse into a first down. So here he's trying to step up.
Sorry, I thought you were.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, Latham, Dan Moore, Lloyd Cushenberry. Look how great they're doing on this rep here in terms of protection. And now that I could see that it was Gunnar Helm, they brought in pre-snap motion. By the way, the end zone angle is a little bit closer for me as you share your screen. But really, an outstanding job up front. Outstanding. He doesn't get happy feet. He doesn't go through. He doesn't give up on the play, as you said. He realizes the protection's as good as it is, and he extends it as long as he can. The moment he leaves that pocket, to me, is the exact moment that he has to. You know what? I've been holding on to this thing for a while. You see this defender coming loose right here, and that's when he breaks loose. He's going to break that contain there, extend the window, extend the pocket, and find Chig.
Yeah, and I think this is a great example if we want to talk about, we're spending longer on this play than I intended. It doesn't matter. One of the things we want to talk about in this is, like, where is he demonstrating growth, and how is this growth? Well, one thing that he demonstrates on this play, even though he doesn't end up throwing it until he's in the grasp, is the idea of your feet are married to your eyes and your timing of your progression. Your feet have to come with you, the footwork. And you can watch him continually reset his feet as he goes through his reads here. There's one, bang, feet that direction. Reset, left, bang, feet come with him. Reset again, feet are coming with him. Everywhere he turns his head, his whole body's going, and his feet are replanting each time. So you love to see that just as part of his growth. And then here it is, in the grasp, literally he's literally horizontal to the ground here, able to keep nothing touches. Obviously, it's a clean, legal, totally legitimate play. And there's Chig breaking open. The fact that he's able to find him. Look at the mess he's in the middle of. And here's Chig. I mean, how does he even see him? He's like he can see through the defenders. Oh, there he is. incredible.
Outrageous.
So yeah, that's the first play we're going to look at. I don't know if we're going to spend as long on the next few plays. I'll just stop talking about how long we're spending. You know what? You guys are here. You must, if you want us to speed up, fast forward the video. All right, this is, we're into the second quarter now. This is a 3rd and 9. This is, if you remember the game, the throw to James Prochet over the middle. I can play it out one time before we talk about it as I set it up. This is following 2 screen calls. On 1st and 10, a screen that Cam Ward has to just throw into the ground. And on 2nd and 10, a screen that he's able to get to Gunnar Helm, but there's nowhere to go. The blocking isn't really set up. And it sets you up in a 3rd and 9. And this play is fantastic. I mean, this play, it doesn't get a lot better at quarterbacking than this. So it's 3rd and 9, right? You got to get all the way to, let me see, 27. You got to get all the way to the 36-yard line, right? That's right here. So 3rd and long situation has been death for the Titans offense most of this season. And you got guys running pretty much vertical on this side of the field. There's not a lot going on the back side. It's all to the field side here. And there's Chig on a late release after helping out with the pass protection. But right here is where Cam is starting. He's at the top of his drop. That's when the ball's got to come out. He's ready to get the ball out. Here's James Prochet. This is the picture when Cam decides to make this throw. I mean, that's throwing with anticipation. You're going to have to get it over this linebacker, but you're going to have to fit it down so that neither of these safeties coming like crashing on it can make a play on the ball. And he does. It's thrown perfectly over the linebacker's head with anticipation into this spot. I mean, what else can you say?
And there's some zip on that ball, isn't there? Like, that's a shot up the seam. How many times you've seen people complain, he's putting too much on the ball. He's putting too much on the ball. Well, I love to see him put that much on it and I see a receiver actually come down with it. And look, as much credit as I give Cam Ward on this play, and I give him a lot for everything you just said, the way he fit into that window, threw it with anticipation, I give James Prochet a lot of credit too. Like, there's a bit of a mid-air adjustment here. Terrific body control by James Prochet to come down with this ball. 9 times out of 10, maybe that's being a little much, but 9 times out of 10, has this not fallen incomplete for the Titans this season? Like, and someone would have ran to Twitter and said he put too much on it or something silly that I don't agree. I would not have agreed with. He put some mustard on it. James Prochet adjusts to the football midair, terrific body control, comes down with it in a crowd. Knows that maybe there's a chance he's going to take a shot. Like, do you think he knows for sure he's not taking a lick here? I don't think he knows that for sure. You might take a lick here. And just incredible confidence, incredible bravery, comes down with this ball. This was honestly, I know the off-script ones, but in terms of within structure, anticipation, and all that, this is my favorite throw from Sunday.
Yeah, this is up there for me. I got another one that's in structure that's really good that we'll get to in a second. But my favorite part about the play is the timing. The fact that it's top of your drop on 3rd and long. And we talked about, I literally just got through saying he holds the ball when he has to. That's the difference between a player who holds the ball for too long because they're not trusting what they're seeing and a player who holds the ball too long because, okay, nobody's open and my protection is holding up, so I can hold the ball. But in this instance, the protection's holding up still, but it's 3rd and 9 and the first read is there. So I trust it and I'm letting it rip. And that, I think the timing with which he is able to make this play is what makes it work and what makes it impressive to us for a rookie quarterback continuing to show that growth. The next play, we're on to the 3rd quarter now. We're not going to go completely in order, but for the first 7 or 8 plays, we are going in order. It's 2nd and 7 now. And
plays. What do you mean, first 7 or 8 we're going in order? 1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The first 6 are in order. The last 2 are 2 other random ones. Yeah, we got 8 plays. Spoiler alert. Okay, this is, wow, look at that. This is my favorite in structure play of this game. And the reason is the eye manipulation. So I'm going to play it out one time. Maybe some of our more experienced film watching people in the audience will understand what I'm about to point out before I point it out. I'm not going to go into the design of the play. It's a good design, a zone beater where you have Chig filling in the gap where another player just left, just vacated. But what's so impressive about this is the eye manipulation to create this throw. And when I go to the end zone cam, you can really see what I'm talking about here, because that safety, before we get to the end zone cam, that safety at the top of the screen, this player here, this is his zone back here, okay? What is this, cover 3? He's got that deep third or cover 1. It's hard to tell what the Seahawks run, honestly. Their defenses are very complex, but he's got that area, right? But there's two players in the area. So Cam Ward, it's his job as the quarterback to open up one of these two guys against zone coverage with his eyes. And you'll see this defender come down on the in-breaking route, which leaves Chig wide open. So why does he do that? Just because that guy's running in-breaking and he's got to cover him? No, he does it because of what Cam Ward does with his eyes on this play. And you'll see it here as I play it in real time first.
Oh, yeah, I see exactly what you're referring to.
He is holding his eyes on the in-breaker until the exact moment he's ready to throw. He doesn't look, hold, confirm, and then throw. It's eyes on the in-breaker. As soon as his eyes move, the ball is coming out.
As soon as his head snaps right, the ball comes out of his hands.
Right. It gives the defender no time to react. And that, again, it's high-level quarterbacking. In order to beat zone coverage in the NFL, you have to be able to manipulate the defenders with your eyes because that's how you create these openings in the zone.
And correct me if I'm wrong.
Play.
This is the 26-yarder to Chig, which I believe was their most explosive passing play of the day. This was the longest passing play they had all afternoon.
Interesting. I didn't realize that. But that's probably
I'll
right.
confirm, but
I know the Prochet went for 23 yards. I know the DK one on 3rd and 3 that we'll get to towards the end here went for 25 yards.
Yeah,
I don't know of any.
No, I was correct. This was their longest passing play of the day, 26 yards. And this is a terrific example. It is completely created by Cam Ward's ability to use that eye manipulation, hold the safety on the in-breaking route, get him to just second-guess, vacate that zone that he's supposed to have there up the deep right side. And this is an instance of Cam Ward creating this play with his eyes, and it ends up being their longest. I mean, obviously, they're certainly more than their longest running play. They can run the ball for also ends up being their longest play on offense, and it's all because of how he manipulates the defender with his eyes.
Right, and that's one of the things that I've been waiting a little bit to see more of from Cam Ward this year is using the eyes to manipulate. So we talk about growth. We talk about what it takes to be a franchise quarterback. Titans having found their guy. You got to be able to be confident and comfortable in a system to even start to work your eyes and start to work defenders with your eyes. And he really did it a lot in this game. And that's one of those areas where you're like, okay, this is what I need to see.
And he did it a lot at Miami. Like you and I both saw that at Miami. So the fact that we're seeing it now, again, it just feels like real-time growth for a guy who's obviously been acclimating to the NFL, not the greatest circumstances around him, surroundings, things of that nature. But we know he's got that capability because he did it at Miami all the time. So it's so good. It's so much fun. Same thing with the feet. You're seeing the feet get better. You talked about on the last play, like things that we know and believe that he's capable of. You're starting to see them go through that natural progression as he gets more confident and more experience on a weekly basis.
He actually gives this one away with his feet because while he is holding that defender with his eyes, his feet are already set to go outside. He knows where this ball is going, but he knows what he has to do before he can release it so that it gets there safely. And that's the head.
But I know you didn't mean this, but when you say giving it away with his feet, that defender's not reading Cam Ward's feet, right? So you're fine to do that because you're going to be confident in the base that you have, that you're set up with the throw that you know you're going to make. As long as you're not tipping it, who cares? And there's no chance in hell that defender's watching your feet. He's watching your eyes. You're holding the in-breaker with your eyes. Your feet can be doing whatever the hell you want them to do. And look, that's what it takes to give him the confidence to know that he's not going to miss this throw, which ends up being a wide open, easy throw to make. But it is that way because of how you manipulated it with your eyes.
Right, and I didn't mean to suggest he was giving it away. Of course. Yeah, he's giving it away to us, the people studying it. We understand what the intent was because of that. And the other thing is, this is a nice touch pass. You know, people complaining, like you said, about throwing too hard, uncatchable balls. When he has to Prochet on the previous play, he rips it in there. When he has a chance to just deliver one with more touch, make it a catchable ball, he does that. And that's, again, growth because we weren't seeing as much touch on these types of throws early in the year when he felt like he sort of was like, oh, the guy's open, I got to get it to him. And now he's like calm, cool, playing like, again, more like we saw from him in college. All right, this is the 1st and goal, 6-yard touchdown run. Justin, you put this play on the list, I think because it's a great bit of playmaking by Cam Ward, but really because he takes a blown-up play and turns it into a touchdown.
Yeah, I don't know that we've got a ton of high-level analysis for this one. This is just a guy who's playing with a ton of confidence and wasn't going to be denied. This is a guy who's been a playmaker all afternoon long. And what does he do here? He just simply makes a play. And I think I mentioned on the live stream yesterday, I know you guys probably don't care, but I was feeling this one. I put down a little bit of money on a Cam Ward anytime touchdown run. Where I got that confidence from, I don't know. I was just like, this guy played well against the Chargers. He played well against the Texans. I just have so much confidence in his trajectory right now. That arrow is pointing up every single week. I said, I think Cam Ward might run for a touchdown today. The vibes are vibing based on the way that he's playing right now. This is just Cam Ward making a football play, plain and simple.
And what's crazy about this play is it's designed one of those Kansas City style tight end comes across and you flip it, shovel pass it forward to the tight end. And you can see exactly how it gets set up here. You start with the play action, fake on that little jet sweep reverse, and now look at Chig. He's ready for the ball, hands up, he wants the ball. But Cam Ward reads what's happening. This defender is closing in on Chig. This one's got him from the backside. And there is room and a lane up this direction. You have Lloyd Cushenberry coming out and making a great block. You're going to have Kevin Zeitler blocking a guy 10 yards down. Here's Kevin Zeitler coming out, blocking a guy 10 yards down the field. You got Latham coming around and knocking this guy back. Skoronski, who started on the left side of the formation, has pushed this defender all the way outside the hash. So that lane is there, and Cam Ward, with awareness, spatial awareness, and vision, reads it to get close to the goal line. And when he gets to the goal line, he still has a good block here by James Prochet, still has good blocking from the linemen who are downfield, but there's one unblocked defender. It's up to Cam Ward to either slide here and set up second and goal, take a shot and set up second and goal, or go airborne, baby. And I compared him to Air McNair pre-draft. Man, you can't tell me this doesn't look like Steve McNair running to the corner of the end zone against the Pittsburgh Steelers and doing a cartwheel into the end zone. I'm just going to say that. There were multiple moments in this game that resembled the legendary Steve McNair. And I'm not, again, he's still a rookie. He still has areas to improve, so don't take that too far. But there's a reason those comps were made pre-draft, because there are plays on his tape that look similar.
He chose door number 3. He goes airborne, gets into the end zone. And I'll say that I really like the design of this play. I have no issue with the design or the play call. You fake that jet sweep. I'm assuming that's Shimmeray DK. You're faking the jet sweep to. Credit the Seahawks, because there's a good chance they take that bait. That's a guy that's been incredibly dynamic with the ball in his hands this year. Certainly they identified that on tape. Very believable that they would run a jet sweep to Shimmeray DK here in this down and distance. You get Chig leaking out there. You're going to shove. How many times has Travis Kelce scored a touchdown on this play for the Chiefs, right? That Andy Reid design. But all the credit again. Cam Ward immediately reading, you know what? It's not there. That read has to be immediate. Right? He knows it post-snap, immediately it is not there, going to decide to take the ball into his own hands, and just an incredible individual effort. And again, give the O-line flack, as I said. Great job on this one. You mentioned the blocks, Skoronski, Latham, Cushenberry. Great job up front creating that initial rushing lane for him. And the end of it is just him. There's just some want to there, right? When you're willing to go airborne like that, there's a want to factor. He wanted to score this touchdown, and he wasn't going to be denied.
A little Will Levis-like.
Stop.
Not in a bad way. I'm going
to leave.
We broke a play down with Liam Cohen from his Kentucky tape where Levis leaps over 4 defenders into the end zone.
Maybe Cohen will do it with us again before Sunday's game. We'll see if he's willing to give us all the secrets.
Hey, similar play. That's all I'm going to say. All right, next play here. This might be the most impressive single physical feat of the game. This is a no-look pass by Cam Ward. And we'll break it down here in a second, but I just want to play it for you. The way that he gets his eyes outside, and then you can see his head is turning the opposite direction as he's letting the ball go here. So glad we got the end zone angle from this side so we can see his eyes. Look at that. That is a no-look pass. That's it. That's what we've been waiting for. Bang.
Oh, dear Lord. I mean, Dan Moore is beat pretty quickly. I think, is that Dan Moore? That might be Ollie Udo already by then.
It is Udo.
It's Udo, right? 52? Yeah, or 72? Yeah, it's Udo. So he's beat pretty much instantly, right? Cam Ward is going to have to escape this pocket. Look at this. What a terrible rep by the left tackle.
And can I just say, what awareness by Cam Ward? This is your blind side.
Yes.
This is that eyes in the back of your head type of, you just have to have a feel for this when your tackle your left tackle is being beat because he doesn't look that direction. He just understands, I got to go. Look at that. As soon as, who is that? Mafe? I don't know who the rusher is, but as soon as he reaches his right arm out, Cam's like, no, you're not getting me.
He just moves up in the pocket, escapes it, keeps his eyes downfield, keeps his eyes in a place he's not even going to throw it to because he hits the no-looker to Gunnar Helm. I mean, this is high-level, exciting, elite quarterback play.
And you can see the peak. Right here's the peak. There's Gunnar.
Right,
okay.
Yeah, right there.
Now I'm going to free him. I'm going to create this passing lane. I'm going to make sure the players downfield in coverage don't defend it because now I'm going to look to my right. And who was he actually looking at? I'm honestly not sure.
Silly. This is silly.
Yeah. I'm not even actually sure who he was looking at. He might have just been looking at nobody because there's not a lot of players in that direction where he appears to be looking.
No,
now, it does
nobody.
seem that
There's nobody.
There's a check down option here, and that's who this defender is running towards. And I think that might be who Cam's looking at and pulling this defender away to create this space here. Pulling
I feel like
this
his
defender
eyes
to
are
the
higher
check down.
upfield than the check down, but
I do too, but that's where this defender is running, and why he's not back here to cover this is because of the check down option. So maybe it's a combination of both, but you create in plays where there are no plays to be made. Instant pressure, get out of it, keep your eyes downfield, and then open a passing lane by throwing a no-look pass. That's what we're talking about. Titans have their guy. This is what it takes to be a high-level quarterback in the NFL, is you have to be able to manipulate defenders and carry the offense sometimes. And now we've been saying all season that it shouldn't have to be your rookie quarterback carrying the offense. But if he wants to do it, let him do it, man. That's what we've been waiting for.
there are only a couple of quarterbacks in the National Football League that can make that play right there, right? Like there's a small handful of them that can make that play. And he does it as a rookie in Week 12 against a top 5 passing defense, an elite football team. I think we're going to get more into that topic later, but this was absolutely an example of Cam Ward carrying the team, putting it on its back.
Well, Justin, you want to talk about carrying the team. You want to talk about a player putting a team on their back. I don't think any play emphasizes that more than this one. This is the play we've been waiting for. Can't wait to see it from the All-22? Well, you're in luck. Here we go. Yes, that is the man, the myth, the legend, Xavier Restrepo in motion on this play pre-snap. And Cam Ward again, feel for the pocket, right? It's a decent pocket to start, but this left tackle's getting beat, and Latham's not really, Latham's about to give up an inside move here or an outside move here. But what Cam Ward does to evade the rush, first of all, is impressive as heck. And now, keeping his eyes downfield. These guys are so far out of the play, they're not even really a target in this instance. But you keep your eyes downfield, and you know where your buddy the instinctive connection on display here. That was Xavier Restrepo, right? You want to keep your eye on Xavier Restrepo on this play? He's right here. All right, I'll start it over. He's right here. He's right here. He has a little out and back in, little like pivot route towards the sideline here. That's him there. Or maybe he's like, oh, shoot, Cam's in trouble. This play's dead. I'm pivoting back in because he wants me to run in. Okay, now I'm going to follow the space and go upfield. Oh, Cam's rolling right. Okay, I'm going to go right. Actually, Cam likes it when I go back towards the middle of the field. So I'm going to go back towards the middle of the field. Ends up wide open. I talked more about Restrepo than Ward there. You want to take the Ward stuff, Justin?
Well, it's just an unbelievable play. Like you said, the left tackle giving up pressure once again. Is that Udo again? Of course, it's Udo again. Giving up the pressure relatively quickly. Not a terrific rep for J.C. Latham. I don't blame Cam. Look, the anchor's not there. He's getting pushed back a little bit into the pocket. I don't blame Cam for saying, I've got the pressure up the left side. I could kind of feel that this pressure is coming up the right side as well. And as he escapes the pocket, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, the slight hesitation here, the little hezzy move that he gives this defender to just create enough space for himself, enough separation between him, that hesitation gives him the space needed to extend this pocket. He rolls off. Look at that image right there. He's getting pushed out of bounds. He's mid-air. Like, the fact that it looks like he got hit with a Derrick Henry stiff arm, right? Like, the fact that
does look like Josh Norman.
Right, that's the Josh Norman meme. The fact that he has released, look at this football. That is just what? The fact that he has released that football accurately into the waiting God-given hands of Xavier Restrepo. I mean, what are we looking at? And back to I said it yesterday, the chemistry factor between the two of them. Restrepo covering 105 yards on this play and knowing exactly where he wants Cam Ward. He's going to want me to sit down in this zone. That's the type of chemistry Cam Ward hasn't really had with anyone else this season.
Right.
But the individual, I mean, again, knowing when to escape the pocket, giving the defender the slight hesitation move needed to create enough space between them. That hesitation, I think, is what allows him to break the contain. It's just unbelievable. And then the effort at the sideline. I don't know how he releases this football. I don't know how he releases it accurately. I mean, that's just stupid. Stupid.
One last little detail I'll point out to you, just to show that Xavier Restrepo is an NFL level player who deserves to get more snaps. If this game didn't do that for you, this is the little things, the little details of a play. Restrepo jumps into the air to catch this ball, right? As soon as it hits his hands, he knows, I am a secure catcher. I have the ball. Look at him peek over his left shoulder before, like literally the moment the ball touches his hands to know where's the defender coming from? Which way do I need to turn? He peeks over that shoulder. He sees number 8 coming, and he's going the other direction. I mean, that kind of spatial awareness is the stuff. It didn't on this particular rep, but that can lead to really big plays in yards after catch. You see guys do that all the time, but the best receivers in the league, they spin back the kind of the opposite way, counterintuitively away from the defense, and they create so much space. I just love that he has the awareness to even do that. I mean, that's crazy. It's a mid-catch. He's peeking, where's the defender? And I'm pretty sure he gets his face mask ripped right there.
It certainly looks like he's getting his head ripped around, so he could have drawn 2 penalties in this game.
Yeah.
Then later, he's going to take that clear targeting shot to the helmet on 3rd and 21 that they didn't call. That should have given the Titans a fresh set of downs. But anyway, I mean, absolutely. Xavier Restrepo proving that he belongs on the field, that earning more reps alongside Cam Ward. I love that detail because I did not notice that yesterday, but that just, he knows he's got the ball, the peek over the left shoulder. I mean, high level receiver play from Xavier Restrepo on this rep.
All right, Justin, we got 2 more plays we're going to look at. The next one is the 3rd and 3 second quarter throw to Shimere DK that was a potentially good drive that got quickly undone by penalties and then a negative 4-yard run. So here it is. It's a similar situation as what we've seen where Cam Ward understands that the pocket is not going to be a pocket. But what I love about it is the way that he gets outside. You know, it's like a running back setting up their blocks. Having that kind of, again, the word comes up all the time with Cam Ward, spatial awareness. Absolutely. Because he understands, okay, the rusher is beating my guy inside, right? Watching right here against J.C. Latham. This guy, Latham, oversets to the outside, which is a little bit of an issue with him, and gives up the pressure inside. But Cam Ward knows, okay, as long as I stay between my guy and the defender, he can block him. It's not going to be a threat to me. So Cam Ward gets outside. And then the best thing I love about this, it's 3rd and 3. So Cam knows as soon as he starts scrambling that if nothing develops down the field, and we've already seen it, you know, this is the second drive. We've already seen him use his legs really well in this game multiple times.
Yep.
He knows I'm going to be able to scamper for 3 yards if I have to. But if I don't have to, and I have a guy with tons of green grass in front of him, then I'm going to get him the ball and let him take advantage of all that green grass.
A guy who he knows is very explosive with the ball in his hands, right? Like we saw an instance in this game where he decided to throw to Pollard instead of run it, and it wasn't the wrong decision. Like he would have gotten more yards running it. Well, this is the opposite. They get more yards here because he decides to pass it instead of run it. Look how much green space is in front of DK. Look how much separation between him and the closest defender. And he knows how explosive and dynamic he is with the ball in his hands. And it ends up being, again, this is the 25-yarder, right? I think it's their second longest play. And again, one created mostly by Cam Ward. I'm sorry. I'm giving more of the credit to Ward on this one, right? Like DK, as much as I love him, he kind of does what he should do on it, right? Like that's the expectation. And when you've got that much space in front of you, you're going to pick up a ton of yards. So this is mostly created by Cam Ward here, certainly by his to escape the pocket and extend the window to get this ball out and then to make the decision to throw it instead of run it. That's the thing with Cam Ward. Like as much as he escapes these pockets and as much as he's gotten better as a runner, he's always doing it to throw. Like he's
Yeah.
always like that's always the first intention. He's keeping his eyes downfield. He is a pocket passer by nature. So even when he has to create and extend, he still wants to throw the football. And that's exactly where his mind goes on this rep. And again, he ends up converting it on, by the way, a 3rd and 3. So it's 3rd down. You're punting it here if you don't convert this. You got handed a raw deal. You're backed up on the 3-yard line to start this possession because of the DK fumble on the kickoff return. And he just creates, and he gets them out of trouble. He extends the drive, gets them into good field position. So even when this drive stalls, at least you're going to have an opportunity to punt it, flip the field, maybe get a field goal, whatever. It's a hell of a lot better than punting from your own 10-yard line here?
Exactly. And I'll just point out a couple other things. First of all, you see this blitzing linebacker from Seattle coming at Cushenberry, and then the zero tech, or was that one eye, coming across over against Zeitler. This is a great job. This is something they struggle to do.
They pick it up again. Yep.
They pick it up. Those two guys do their job on this play. And then Cam Ward has to make this decision quickly. Am I going to leave the pocket, or am I going to hang out and see if Latham can recover? No, he makes the decision quickly, which helps everybody out because it takes that rusher who had Latham beat inside, takes him out of the play, and allows Latham to win that rep. And then the final thing here is that this throw couldn't be more on the money in terms of allowing DK to not have to change the pace that he's running with at all. He doesn't have to slow his momentum. He doesn't have to overreach and lose his balance. It's perfect ball placement, which is not like, that's the expectation in this situation. I'm not saying Cam Ward's better than other quarterbacks because he makes that is the expectation, but it's great to see that he did it.
It's the little things. You hit him in stride, and hitting him in stride leads to the yard after catch opportunity.
Exactly. All right, we only have one play left, Justin. It's kind of sad. I've been having fun.
I think the people are having fun, too. I'm going to guess ahead here because I'm having a blast.
I mean, if you're having a blast and you're hanging out for this ride with us, you got to hit that subscribe button. You got to just click subscribe, like the video, drop a comment below. Are we too hyped for this one performance? I do have a few points we're going to make at the end of this, and I don't know if I told the people, Justin. At the end of this, we're going to grade Cam Ward. We're going to take everything we looked at, everything we didn't look at but have seen yesterday, and we're going to give our weekly grade for Cam Ward. And spoiler alert, it is his highest of the season. All right, last play. This is the 4th and 2. And I just wanted to point out that Cam Ward does a great job in a muddy pocket finding his backside read, because he doesn't have a ton of time after the play action fake. Spears, though, does a great job taking out the rusher on that side. Bang, goodbye. He's got to move to his right because the pocket's starting to collapse there. Is that Cushenberry's holds a block for he holds his ground pretty well, but he's going to get beat eventually.
There it is.
And
he's beat right there, essentially.
Oh, yeah, let me get to that. Right there, he's pretty much beat. Yep. And then if we look at it from the all-22, from the sideline, Cam, just to see the other options in Cam's progression here. The initial progression is this. Who is this? I think this is DK lined up in the backfield, out of the backfield to the flat. That's the first read, right? That's where you want to go with this. It's a 4th and 2. So that's your first read, is just like get it to the flat, let the guy who can create explosive yards after catch do so. But the problem with that is that this guy is driving downfield. Like, he reads this perfectly, and he is going to come blow this up. If DK makes him miss, great, but he's going to blow this up if Cam Ward throws this ball, and you have a second defender closing in as well. It makes it very difficult. So Cam says, okay, I'm not going to make that play because that's going to be a bad play. So he comes to this read. This guy is not, he's double covered. He doesn't create any separation. I'm not even sure who it is. No separation at all. Is that, who is that? Is that Restrepo? Oh, I think that is Restrepo. He actually ends up winning the route that direction, but I don't think that's the second read because that's a deeper shot. That would be the last read or a check based on the coverage. But anyway, you got a mesh concept on this top side of the field. Talked a lot about mesh in the preseason, being one of Cam's favorite concepts from Miami. And the mesh works so perfectly because this is Nick Amenwari, I think, rookie safety, has been playing really well for Seattle. He's got Gunnar Helm, and there's a lot of space here that he's not there, but he's gonna get. He's a very athletic. He's a freak, really, and he's driving on Gunnar. He's gonna eventually get to him, except that he runs into this traffic created by the mesh, and Cam does a nice job delivering again a catchable ball. I'd like to see him actually get this up a little more and get a little more out in front of him. But Cam is jumping away from the pressure here, so I think that affects the throw. and he's wide open, so it's good enough. But I am going to pick a little bit of nit with this. Like, that could be a better throw out in front.
I'm going to give him a pass on it because I think the degree of difficulty when you're kind of rolling to your right and going back to the backside read there in a bit of a muddied pocket, like he sees Cushenberry losing, he knows he's got to get rid of it. Like, look at the defense. The defender's going to close on this. Like, that play is dead in the water. He holds on to that ball for what, 0.2 of a second longer than he does. So for me, all the chaos that's kind of around him, extending the pocket rightfully, knowing when to get rid of this ball, getting to his right, and going back to the backside read and making that jump throw, I think the degree of difficulty on this throw is a lot more difficult than sort of meets the eye initially. So the fact that the decision-making was so fine here and the timing was as needed, because if not, I don't think they make this play. So I'm not going to pick the nit too much like you are on this one. I think the degree of difficulty is a bit tougher than you feel. But just it's a fourth down, got to have it play. And to me, he essentially plays it to perfection.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. And it's lofted. It's not lofted, but it's thrown with touch such that it's an easy catch for Gunnar. Because if he tries to get it more out in front of him and he ends up overshooting him, then it's fourth down. You got to like the most important thing is catching the ball, getting past the sticks, which he does. So, that will conclude the film breakdown portion of this. Justin, I want to get to Cam Ward's passing chart. Or sorry, grade. Not pass chart. We already did pass chart. Cam Ward's grade for the week. Here it is. Like I said, spoiler alert, highest grade of the season. We went with a B+. Now, I've seen some people on Twitter saying this was an A game. He deserves an A. And the reason that, for me at least, I won't speak for you, I'll let you speak for yourself. For me at least, the reason I am keeping this under the A range is that, like, he still hasn't thrown more than one touchdown in a game. Now, it was a multi-touchdown game because he ran for one, but he still hasn't thrown more than one touchdown in a game. He still hasn't had a 300-yard passing game. Like, we're reserving the A's for the special stuff. You want an A+? An A+ would be Josh Allen's 6-touchdown game. Actually, that's not even an A+, because Josh Allen had some horrid turnovers in that game. But anyway, the point is, like, he's got to go 350 to 400 yards, 3 to 4. It's not all stat-based, but 3 to 4 touchdowns through the air. Like, really lead the team to a win in a shootout setting where he just has to keep coming and keep coming and keep coming. That's where you're going to get me into A range. So we just have to leave room for, like, this isn't the best that Cam Ward can play in his life. Like, over the next 12 years, if this is the best game he ever plays, that'll be a disappointment. So B+, I think is perfectly fair. It was definitely his best game of the season, even though it didn't come in a win. But it's still, like, there's still room for this to be even better, which I think is the exciting part.
I agree with you. Now, watching that tape and seeing all the high-level stuff, like, I came pretty close to trying to push you on an A-, but I think B+ is ultimately the right range. Like, the offense still managed 17 points-ish, I guess. You know, they got the kick return from the punt return touchdown from DK. So 17 points, under 300 passing yards, only one passing touchdown. So yes, we're reserving room for improvement because we believe those games will eventually come in Cam Ward's career. I have very little doubt that those games will arrive. And when they do, we're going to grade them an A+, whatever it is. But we're going with a very strong B+ here because for me, I don't have any nit to pick, as I think you put it. Like, it's just what the missed screen to Pollard earlier in the game, the miss to DK, like the one sack he may have taken at the start of the third quarter. Like, there's just so, and I bet if we watch the all 22 on that one, I don't know that there was a lot he could have done. So for me, this was a very close to an A for Cam Ward, but no doubt about it, his best game of the season. B+. I love the way that graph is trending right now.
Yeah, I was going to say that too. Like, I mean, the first 3 games, in hindsight, we may have been, I mean, they're B-. It's not like we were super generous with the grade. We maybe could have been a little bit harsher with, like, the Broncos game, just when you look at the total production
maybe
involved.
It's a C+, the Broncos game, if we were grading it today.
Yeah, and even, I mean, the Rams game, he played well, but overall, the line is going the right direction. And if we continue, this is the last point I'll make on this. I have two final closing thoughts to leave you guys with after this pretty long episode here. And we pray we don't get flagged for copyright for showing all that film. because that would be a bummer. But you know what? It's worth it. It's worth breaking this down, even if we do, even if we are
so
not
you guys
able to...
aware why Graver says that if we get flagged for copyright, we just spent 55 minutes on here and we'll make $0 off this video, right? You can't monetize it. But we decided to take that risk because we love our audience and we would never choose money over doing you a disservice. And you deserved a Cam Ward film breakdown based on that performance. So whether this video makes a cent or not based on the monetization, we decided to do it for you.
Exactly. Well said, Justin. And make sure you hit that subscribe button. So to thank us, just thank us with a subscription, and we will be very happy and proud to make this content for you all. The last two closing thoughts that I leave you all with are: if Cam Ward continues to play like this, and the rest of the season, his passing chart, if this level on the passing chart that we're looking at for Week 12 continues or higher for the rest of this year, the Titans are going to struggle to get the number 1 overall pick, because the Seahawks are a really good team, a top 5 team in the NFL for my estimation. And if Cam Ward is playing that well for the rest of the year, they're going to beat teams that aren't as good as the Seahawks. The ultimate determining factor of success in the NFL is quarterback play. And if you get high enough level quarterback play, you can almost overcome anything else. Josh Allen being Superman is the type of stuff I'm talking about. And I'm not expecting Cam Ward to enter that territory, at least not as a rookie, and maybe not ever. Josh Allen might be one of the best to ever do it from a physical standpoint. And, the game against Houston notwithstanding, let's look at the totality of his career and not have recency bias reacting. I know we're going to get a comment about Josh Allen was worse against Houston than Cam Ward was, so how can you say that? But the totality of their career, let's not be silly here. But if he keeps playing like this, they're going to beat some of these teams that they're not supposed to beat. They can beat the Saints by 10 points if Cam Ward's playing this well. The Saints are a really bad football team. The Browns, obviously their defense is insane, and Myles Garrett might set the sack record in that game. He has already a 5-sack day and a 4-sack day this season. He might get another 4 or 5-sack day against the Titans, but especially if Dan Moore has a long-term injury, dealing with some knee thing that we don't know the severity of, because Mike McCoy's not going to tell us. So we'll see how that all shakes out. But I just think that this is the double-edged sword. We want him to play this well. We'd love him to play this well every week. But if he does that, they will win 2 or 3 games that we're not currently planning on them winning.
I fully agree with you. Let the chips fall where they may, right? If he does play this well, then yes, they are going to win a game or 2. They could start this Sunday against Jacksonville. I think they're a better team than the Titans, but I think they're beatable. And I think if Cam Ward plays this well, then they are very beatable. But, he might take a step back in one of these weeks and have a disappointing showing. We don't know what's going to happen. The remaining schedule is still fairly difficult, right? They've got Jacksonville twice. They're above 500. They've got the Chiefs. So the Browns defense is really, really elite. So schedule is by no means a cakewalk. The Saints game is the most winnable game. But some of these other games, the Jags, both Jags games, of course, are certainly winnable games if they get a Cam Ward performance like that one. So we'll see what happens. Yes, we're still, rooting for the number 1 pick and a trade down. But honestly, Cam Ward keeps looking like that and they win games, I'm going to start caring a little bit less about getting the number 1 pick.
Yeah, if it's between Cam Ward looks like this for the rest of the season, or he doesn't and you get the number 1 pick, I'm choosing Cam Ward looks like this for the rest of the season. But that is the last and final point I wanted to make, Justin, is that it feels like he broke out and he arrived and he planted his flag as the Titans franchise quarterback. But I will also caution everyone, it's only 1 game. And flashes, even if they last for a full game, are still just flashes until they become consistent. And the ultimate step is when he can do this for a 3-game stretch, a 5-game stretch, a season, a career. That's when you start actually cementing yourself as the guy. So this is hyper encouraging. There's nothing more he can do from this to be the guy, but he does have to keep it rolling. He's got to do this again. He's got to play like this more weeks than he doesn't play like this. He doesn't have to play like this every single game. Everybody has an off game. Again, Josh Allen against Houston, right? Every quarterback, even the best ones, are going to struggle in certain matchups and certain looks. So I'm not saying he has to be this guy every week, but he has to start being more consistent. If this is he's growing before our eyes and he's reached this point, like you just said, we want to avoid the step back now, right? It doesn't have to be this elite, every week. And it's not like, again, it's still a B plus, right? There's still room to grow here. But if we can't be like, I'm very encouraged, but it's also the book's still very much not closed, you know?
Listen, I think what you're trying to say, and I'll close up for us here, is something's going to come next, and we'll be here to analyze it when it does, right? Like, you try not to be prisoners of the moment. We gave you this breakdown. I think we did a good job with it. And if something goes wrong next Sunday, we'll talk about that too. It is a weekly process when you are developing a rookie quarterback. And I think right now the process is incredibly encouraging. You are seeing in real time him get better and better and better. Hopefully that continues to happen. If it doesn't, we'll have the level-headed analysis to deliver to you. Until we are back tomorrow, hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel. We are 25 subs away from our goal. I asked you guys yesterday, and you came through. Was that Happy Jazz Hands? What was it?
It was 55.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Jazz Hands. Oh, you came through yesterday with the subscriptions. When I asked, I honestly, above my expectations. That was phenomenal what you guys did on the live stream. We are 25 away from reaching our goal. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment below. Did you enjoy this supersized 55-minute episode of a Cam Ward film breakdown where we might have made $0 for doing it? I hope you guys loved it. We will be back tomorrow to talk about Cam Ward and the Tennessee Titans. Until then, y'all stay safe out there and tighten up.
A Broadway sports media production.